Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Entertainment Esquire. Today, we'll be discussing Celebrity Childs in the context of the Menendez brothers and their parole being denied and what's next for them. Let's get started. So, it's a tale of as old as time. You've seen it, I've seen it. Netflix has done a rehash of the Menendez brother double murder of their parents recently in the last year, covering this infamous case that happened back in 1989, where they were initially sentenced to life without parole. And since then, in addition to millions of podcasts and TikToks and Netflix doing a TV show, a TV series based on the murders, the boys have been resentenced. They've actually been resentenced to 50 years. They've already served over, I want to say, 30 years. And because they were considered youth offenders under the youth offender law in California, you're automatically eligible for parole after a certain amount of time anyway. So because they've already served over 30 years, there's now this 50-year sentence that was imposed back in May. They went in front of the parole board. And so a lot of people that are supporters of theirs obviously were excited, right? Because they thought that they were getting out. There would be no reason to not let them out. Sadly, they were denied. They were both denied. And their lawyer here, Mark Garagos, says out the gate, Eric was denied, probably because of his specific role in the murder. And Lau then also was denied. And it appears to be over our technicality, cell phone usage. But as the lawyers pointed out, there's no nexus to cell phone usage and criminality. And so that if there was going to be a reason that their parole should have been denied, that certainly should not have been it. So they have been denied. They have been resentenced. And so what's next? Okay, so there are three things that can happen next for the Menendez brothers. They can go up again for parole, again in 3 years or 18 months with good behavior. They can seek clemency from the governor and potentially take this to the Supreme Court. And then finally, they could just bid for a new trial. In 2023, they did submit what they call a habeas corpus petition, stating that there was new evidence, and so it demanded a new trial. So we're going to get into all three of these potential ways that the Menendez brothers can be free, finally, for, again, the people that support their release. This is obviously something they've been waiting for a long time. So let's jump into the easiest one, okay? Parole hearings are usually every couple of years. Good behavior, 18 months. Again, no cell phone usage, boys. Or they're actually men now. They can just go in front of the board again, and then if there's no record of any sort of bad behavior such as cell phone usage, then there really should be any reason why they would not be released. The second way is clemency, which I actually think honestly is the best way to go, because you can circumvent the decision of the board and you can go straight to the governor, who has the authority. Now, some people say, well, can Trump let them go? No, Trump is federal. So these were state cases, not federal cases. So only Governor Newsom, who is the California governor at this time, can actually release them literally today. Today they can be released. But obviously there's some political implications of him making a decision about such a historic case. And so the governor's office official statement is that it is pending in terms of their decision to grant a clemency for both of the brothers. Now, they also, in addition to granting clemency, they could also just reverse, right, the decision of the parole board. That's another way the boys can, the Menendez brothers can be released. So we'll see where the governor goes in terms of reversing a decision or just making a decision about clemency on their own. That's definitely what's next. Mark Garagos here, the attorney, mentioned that he's thinking about actually even taking it to the Supreme Court, because he feels like the basis of the denial of the parole board, with there being no, as he calls it, nexus of criminality to the cell phone usage, should be not a legal way to deny someone parole. So we'll see if he takes it all the way to the Supreme Court. I think here's the thing: Supreme Court doesn't take all cases. They may take this case because it's so popular, but there's no guarantee that case will be taken. So I think clemency is the best route and the fastest route. If you ask my personal opinion about the best way to get them released, the third way is a new trial, which again is probably one of the longest ways to get them out because it would mean we would be starting all over it from scratch to do this trial. Now, what would this trial present? It would present this new evidence. What is this new evidence? There is the Menino brother, the Menino band member who also says he was abused in the same time frame. So it would corroborate their abuse during that time as a mitigating circumstance as to why they committed the murders. And then there was also a letter written supposedly to one of the cousins. One of the brothers wrote a letter to a cousin actually recounting and accounting for the abuse before the murder. So again, it's another way to corroborate the abuse. And why is this important? Because at first there was this whole self-defense argument, but really there's this now we were abused. We were not allowed to use this in our second trial because the first trial was a mistrial, right? First trial was a mistrial. The second trial, they got a guilty verdict for both because they were not allowed to present abuse as a mitigating circumstance. They were only allowed to present the jury murder or not guilty. And so they chose murder and they were not allowed to use abuse. And so here we are over 30 years later with them still sitting in prison. This has been The Entertainment Esquire. Thank you for watching and listening on all streaming platforms at The Entertainment Esquire. You can find us on YouTube, also at The Entertainment Esquire, and on social media handles at The Entertainment ESQ. Until next time, everyone, take care.